I never thought hiding from paparazzi would change my life. Rain pounded San Antonio's streets as I ducked into the first door I saw. The warm aroma of fresh bread hit my senses. "Table for one?" a waitress asked, eyeing my dripping designer coat. The place was packed, every table filled with chattering families and business folks. My stomach growled, reminding me I hadn't eaten since morning. "Actually, there's space at my table," a voice called out. I turned to see a stunning blonde with piercing blue eyes. She sat alone at a corner table, laptop open beside her coffee. "I'm Courtney," she smiled, gesturing to the empty chair. "The lunch rush here gets crazy." Something about her drew me in. Maybe it was how she didn't seem to recognize me, or how her smile reached her eyes. "Lydia," I said, sliding into the seat. "Thanks for saving me from the rain." "And the photographers?" She raised an eyebrow. "I saw them chasing someone down the street." My heart skipped, but her tone held curiosity, not judgment. "Hazards of the job," I shrugged, studying the menu. "I'm in television." "Ah, the new crime drama," Courtney nodded. "My brother won't shut up about it." We talked through lunch. She owned this place, Bell's Family Kitchen, fourth-generation restaurateur with dreams of expansion. The rain cleared, but we kept talking. About food, dreams, the city. She told stories about crazy customers. I shared behind-the-scenes mishaps. "You should come back," she said as I finally stood to leave. "The dinner menu's even better." I found myself writing my number on her business card. "For collaboration purposes," I said lamely. "Of course," she winked. "Always good to network." Walking out, I felt lighter than I had in months. The paparazzi were long gone, but my heart was racing for entirely different reasons. I texted Diana, my manager, canceling my afternoon meetings. Instead, I sat in my car, looking up everything about Bell's Family Kitchen, about Courtney. My phone buzzed. Unknown number. "Thanks for making a rainy day interesting, C." I smiled, already planning my next visit. Sometimes running from cameras leads you exactly where you need to be. Little did I know that simple lunch would spiral into something that would test everything I thought I knew about love, career, and being true to myself. Over the next few weeks, Bell's Family Kitchen became my sanctuary. I'd slip in during odd hours, claiming to research restaurant operations for a potential TV role. "You're becoming quite the regular," Courtney teased one Tuesday afternoon. "Should I reserve your table permanently?" The corner spot had unofficially become mine, perfect view of her working behind the counter, not that I was watching. "The food keeps me coming back," I lied smoothly. Truth was, I'd started timing my visits to her schedule. Diana, my manager, noticed the pattern. "Since when do you eat carbs?" she asked after catching me with Bell's takeout again. I brushed off her concerns. But she wasn't wrong. I'd never been one for comfort food before meeting Courtney. The real magic happened after closing time. I'd linger until the last customer left, helping stack chairs while we talked about everything and nothing. "Want to see something special?" Courtney asked one night, eyes twinkling. She led me down narrow stairs to the wine cellar. "This was a speakeasy during Prohibition," she explained, fingers trailing along ancient brick walls. "My great-grandmother ran it." The dim lighting caught her hair like spun gold. She moved with such confidence in this underground space, pointing out century-old bottles and telling family stories. "This one's my favorite." She pulled out a dusty bottle. 1982 Bordeaux. Been saving it for something important. Our fingers brushed as she handed me the bottle. The air felt electric, heavy with unspoken words. "Important like what?" My voice came out barely above a whisper. She stepped closer, taking the bottle back. "Like this." The kiss happened so naturally it felt like we'd been building to it forever. Her lips tasted of coffee and possibility. My hands found her waist as the wine bottle was forgotten on a nearby shelf. We broke apart at the sound of footsteps above, her closing staff finishing up. "I should go," I said reluctantly, heart pounding. "You should come to the wine tasting next week," she countered, officially as my guest. Walking home that night, I couldn't stop smiling. My phone buzzed with texts from Diana about upcoming meetings, but all I could think about was the softness of Courtney's lips. I was falling, fast and hard. The rational part of my brain screamed about career implications and public image, but for the first time in my life, I didn't care about being rational. That night, I dreamed of blonde hair and blue eyes, of secret kisses in wine cellars, and the taste of possibilities. What I didn't know then was that our little bubble of happiness was about to be tested. Sometimes the brightest spotlights cast the darkest shadows. The wine tasting never happened. Instead, our perfect bubble burst on a quiet Sunday afternoon. I was helping Courtney close up, stealing kisses between wiping tables, when someone started pounding on the locked door. "Courtney, open up!" a man's voice boomed through the glass. I watched her face drain of color. "Marcus," she whispered. The name hit like ice water. Her ex-boyfriend. The one she'd mentioned briefly, voice always tightening when he came up. "Just ignore him," she said, hands trembling slightly. "He'll go away." But Marcus didn't go away. He pressed his face against the window, eyes narrowing when he spotted me. "Is that Lydia Murphy?" His laugh was ugly. "Didn't know you were into celebrities now, Court." Courtney's brother Tom arrived minutes later, called by one of the kitchen staff. He managed to convince Marcus to leave, but the damage was done. Later that night, in my apartment, Courtney finally told me everything. About Marcus's jealous rages, his need to control her every move. "He used to check my phone," she said, curled against me on the couch. "Track my location. I changed everything when I left." I held her closer, anger burning in my chest. "Why didn't you get a restraining order?" "Didn't want the publicity. It would hurt the restaurant." She sighed. "Family business, you know?" We were interrupted by camera flashes from my balcony. Somehow, paparazzi had gotten past building security. Courtney jumped away like she'd been burned. I rushed to close the curtains, but it was too late. "Damn it," I muttered, already imagining tomorrow's headlines. My phone exploded with texts from Diana. The paparazzi had caught us in an intimate moment, nothing explicit but enough to raise questions. "I should go," Courtney said, gathering her things. "Stay," I caught her hand. "Please." She hesitated, then melted back into my arms. We spent the night talking, planning, trying to figure out what to do. Morning brought more complications. Marcus had posted old photos of him and Courtney online, tagging entertainment news outlets. "He's trying to get attention," Tom called to warn us. "Been telling people he has dirt on both of you." I watched Courtney's face as she read the growing number of social media posts. Marcus was painting himself as the wrong Dex, claiming Courtney had cheated. The truth was messier, more beautiful. But we couldn't tell it. Not yet. Not with my new show about to launch and Marcus threatening to twist everything. That night, holding each other in the darkness of my bedroom, we made love for the first time. Soft touches and whispered promises, knowing things would get harder before they got easier. "We'll figure this out," I promised, kissing her forehead. But as she slept beside me, I couldn't shake the feeling that our happiness had painted a target on our backs. Sometimes love means making impossible choices. And the hardest choice was just around the corner. The headlines started small, just whispers really. TV star's late-night restaurant visits. Rising actress gets cozy with local business owner. Diana stormed into my trailer during filming, tablet in hand. Care to explain? I scrolled through the articles, each one more suggestive than the last. Someone had compiled every visit I'd made to Belle's over the past months. "It's nothing," I said, but my voice lacked conviction. "Nothing?" Diana's eyebrow arched. "The network is watching, Lydia. This show could make your career." She wasn't wrong. The crime drama was gaining buzz, my character particularly. Award season whispers had started. "Just be careful," Diana softened. "You've worked too hard to let anything derail you now," but being careful became impossible. Paparazzi camped outside Belle's, harassing customers. Courtney's business suffered. "They asked if I was your secret lover," she told me over the phone, trying to laugh it off. But I heard the strain in her voice. Marcus made everything worse. He'd become a regular source for gossip sites, spinning tales of Courtney's pattern of behavior. One evening, I snuck into Belle's through the back door. Found Courtney stress baking in the kitchen. "He showed up again," she said, aggressively kneading dough. "Told customers he was my fiancé." I wanted to hold her, but Tom's warning look stopped me. The kitchen staff was watching. The police said unless he makes direct threats, there's nothing they can do. The next day, my agent called. The network was concerned about recent publicity. They wanted me to be seen dating my male co-star. Just for appearances, he said. Until the show's established. I refused, but the pressure mounted. Fan sites analyzed every photo, every interaction. Kourtney's past relationships became public fodder. Diana tried damage control. Just say you're mentoring her for a restaurant-themed project. But the lies felt heavy on my tongue, especially when I saw how Marcus's harassment was affecting Kourtney. He'd started showing up during peak hours, making scenes, posted old intimate messages out of context, called her suppliers, spreading rumors. My staff is getting nervous, Kourtney admitted one night. We were hiding in her office, sharing stolen moments. Some quit. I traced her face in the dim light, memorizing every detail. We could go public, face it together. And risk your show? She shook her head. I won't be the reason your dreams crash. The network sent over a new contract, strict social media guidelines, approved public appearances, suggested relationships. Diana found me staring at it. Sometimes success requires sacrifice. But watching Kourtney handle customers with her bright smile, even as whispers followed her, I wondered what success was worth. That night, Marcus's latest interview hit the internet. He claimed to have proof of inappropriate behavior at the restaurant. My phone lit up with concerned messages from castmates. The show's publicity team wanted an emergency meeting. Something had to give. We couldn't keep living in shadows. But stepping into the light might burn everything we'd built. The choice was coming, ready or not. Marcus made his move on a rainy Tuesday. The same weather that brought Kourtney and me together now threatened to tear us apart. I have security footage, his email read. Attached were grainy images from Belle's wine cellar. Our first kiss. He'd copied several entertainment blogs. Just a taste, he wrote. Plenty more where this came from. Kourtney called me crying. Marcus had shown up at her suppliers meeting, claiming she'd stolen money from him during their relationship. 3 vendors canceled contracts, she said. The bank's getting nervous about the expansion loan. I wanted to rush to her, but Diana intercepted me at the studio. The network executives needed an urgent meeting. The show's testing through the roof, Diana explained. They're talking multiple seasons, spin-offs. The conference room felt too small, too bright. Executives in expensive suits talked about demographics and market research. We're prepared to double your salary, the network head said. But we need guarantees. The contract they slid across the table was thick with clauses. No unauthorized relationships, pre-approved public appearances, a carefully crafted public image. My phone buzzed. Marcus had sent another message. This time, photos of Kourtney and me in my apartment. Think about your career, Diana whispered. Some things are worth sacrificing. I left the meeting unsigned papers behind. Found Kourtney stress cleaning her kitchen after hours. He's winning, she said quietly. My staff's afraid to work nights. Reviews are dropping. I pulled her close, breathing in her familiar scent of vanilla and coffee. We could fight back. And risk everything you've built? She pulled away. I won't let him destroy your career too. That's when Tom burst in. Marcus had posted more photos online, with promises of an explosive interview. He's shopping it to every tabloid in town, Tom said. Claims he has proof of misconduct in the restaurant. Kourtney broke down. Years of Marcus's manipulation had left deeper scars than she'd admitted. Maybe. Her voice cracked. Maybe we need space, just until things calm down. The words hit like physical blows, but I saw the logic. Marcus was escalating. The network was pressuring. Something had to give. I'll handle the press, I promised. Say we were never more than friends. And I'll focus on saving my business. She nodded, tears falling. We held each other in that quiet kitchen, both knowing this wasn't what we wanted, but what we needed. It's not forever, I whispered, trying to convince us both. Diana was waiting in my car outside. The network needs an answer by morning. I watched Belle's lights dim through blurry eyes. Sometimes protecting someone means letting them go. But as I drove away, I made a silent promise. This wasn't the end of our story. Marcus might think he'd won, but he'd underestimated one thing: how far I'd go to protect what mattered most. The separation would buy us time to plan, to strengthen, to fight back. Sometimes you have to step back to leap forward. Distance feels different when your heart lives somewhere else. I threw myself into filming, working 16-hour days until exhaustion dulled the ache. Our communication went underground. Burner phones, encrypted messages, late-night calls through apps that deleted everything. The lunch rush was crazy today, Courtney would whisper, pretending she wasn't crying. Some food critic loved our new menu. I'd tell her about ridiculous scenes, costume malfunctions, anything to hear her laugh. We never mentioned Marcus or the media circus. Diana thought I was finally focusing on my career. The show's ratings soared. Critics praised my newfound intensity. If they only knew that intensity came from missing her. Tom kept me updated on Bells. Courtney had thrown herself into expansion plans, renovating the space next door. She works until midnight, he told me, redesigning everything herself. I drive by sometimes, late at night. Watch her through the windows, bent over blueprints, fighting the urge to run inside. The network loved my reformed image, scheduled appearances with eligible bachelors. I played along, all the while texting Courtney under the table. "Saw you in that magazine," she messaged one night. "That dress looked amazing." "Rather be in jeans, helping you move furniture," I replied. We developed a code. New recipe testing meant she missed me. Location scouting was my way of saying I needed her. The separation sharpened everything. Every stolen phone call felt precious, every secret message a lifeline. I started writing her letters. Old-fashioned, handwritten ones Tom would smuggle to her. Telling her everything I couldn't say aloud. She sent back napkins with coffee stains and food notes scribbled in margins. Little pieces of her world I could hold. The show wrapped its first season. Critics called it groundbreaking. Award nominations poured in. "Told you focusing would pay off," Diana beamed. But success felt hollow without Courtney to share it. I kept the acceptance speeches brief, scared I'd say her name. Meanwhile, Belle's reputation grew. Food blogs praised its innovative direction. Courtney's expansion plans made local business news. "The restaurant's doing better than ever," she admitted during one midnight call. "But nothing tastes right without you here." I understood. My apartment felt empty. I'd catch myself buying coffee for two, turning to share jokes with someone not there. Marcus had gone quiet, thinking he'd won. The media moved on to fresher scandals. But our love hadn't dimmed. If anything, it burned brighter, stronger, tested by fire and distance. "I dream about that wine cellar," I confessed one night. "It's still here," she whispered back. "That bottle too, still waiting for something important." The separation was supposed to protect us. Instead, it proved we couldn't live without each other. I started making plans, quiet, careful ones, because sometimes the greatest love stories aren't about grand gestures. They're about holding on, fighting back, finding ways to be together no matter what stands in your way. The time apart hadn't weakened us. It had made us unbreakable. Marcus's final play came like a thunderbolt. Private photos from Courtney's phone, intimate messages between us, all threatened to go public. $1 million, his email demanded. "Or everything gets leaked tomorrow." I was in my trailer, reviewing scripts when Courtney called. Her voice shook. "He must have hacked my old cloud account," she said. "From when we were together." The photos weren't explicit, but they were personal. Moments we'd thought were just ours. Diana arrived within minutes of my call, her face grim as she reviewed Marcus's demands. "This is extortion," she said. "We can fight it." But Courtney was spiraling. Years of Marcus's manipulation came flooding back. "He'll twist everything," she cried. "Make it look sordid. The restaurant won't survive another scandal." Tom showed up at my apartment that night, bringing surveillance footage from Belle's. "Been recording every time he shows up," Tom explained. "Got him threatening staff, harassing customers." We stayed up all night, building a timeline, every incident, every threat, every manipulation. Diana brought in her best legal team. They found a pattern of similar behavior with Marcus's other exes. 2 filed police reports, the lawyer said. Never pursued charges, too scared. Meanwhile, Marcus got impatient, started sending photos to minor gossip blogs. "Just previews," he wrote. Wait till they see the rest. But he'd miscalculated. The photos showed nothing but two people in love. Look at these, Diana said, spreading them across my coffee table. You look happy, natural. She was right. Even in stolen moments, our connection shone through. Courtney called during a break in filming. She'd found old emails, texts showing Marcus's controlling behavior. The bank president came by, she said. Says they'll back the expansion regardless of publicity. Something shifted. We'd spent months hiding, but Marcus's threats had pushed us too far. I called an emergency meeting with the network, laid everything out. He's trying to blackmail us, I said. I won't let him. To my surprise, they listened. Saw potential in the story. Rising star stands up to blackmail, chooses love over fear. Diana worked through the night, coordinating with lawyers, PR teams. We'll need to move fast, she said. Control the narrative. Tom contributed more evidence. Security cameras had caught Marcus planting something in Belle's office. Probably trying to bug the place, the police said when they found the device. The pieces were falling into place. Years of Marcus's abuse and manipulation, documented and dated. Courtney's voice grew stronger with each call. I'm tired of being afraid. We made plans to meet secretly at Tom's house. Needed to decide our next move together. The photos Marcus threatened to leak sat unopened in my email. Let him try, I told Diana. We're done hiding. Sometimes the biggest storms bring clarity. Show you what's worth fighting for. Marcus thought he could break us. Instead, he gave us the push we needed. The storm was about to break, and we were ready. The legal team moved like a well-oiled machine. Within days, they'd compiled enough evidence for a restraining order against Marcus. We're filing harassment charges, Diana's lawyer explained. Criminal and civil. Courtney sat beside me during the meetings, her hand steady in mine. No more hiding. He showed up drunk last night, Tom reported. Tried getting into the restaurant. Security cameras caught everything. The police took statements from former employees who'd witnessed Marcus's behavior. More of his exes came forward. It's a pattern, the detective said. Classic stalking and intimidation. Meanwhile, I prepared for the hardest part. Coming out on my terms before Marcus could twist the narrative. Diana orchestrated everything. Chose a respected journalist known for LGBTQ advocacy. We control the story, she insisted. No tabloids, no sensationalism. Courtney worried about the impact on my career. We stayed up late, talking through scenarios. The show's success isn't worth living a lie, I told her. You're worth more. The network surprised us. They didn't just accept our relationship. They offered support. Authenticity resonates with viewers, the executive said. We stand behind our talent. Marcus made his final mistake at a charity event. Showed up uninvited, tried confronting Courtney. Security cameras caught him shoving past staff, screaming threats. You'll regret this, he yelled as police led him away. I'll ruin you both. But his threats felt hollow now. We'd gathered too much evidence, built too strong a case. The restraining order came through on a Tuesday. Police served Marcus at his workplace. He looked shocked, Tom reported with satisfaction. Didn't expect us to fight back. Courtney cried when she got the news. Years of fear finally lifting. We did it, she whispered against my shoulder. He can't hurt us anymore. The legal team wasn't finished. They filed civil suits for damages, emotional distress. Make him think twice before targeting anyone else, Diana's lawyer said. That night, we celebrated at Belle's. Just us, Tom and Diana. Finally free to be together openly. To fighting back, Tom raised his glass, and to love winning. Courtney pulled me onto the dance floor, swaying to soft music after hours. Remember our first kiss down there? She nodded toward the wine cellar. Want to make new memories? I smiled, leading her downstairs. The old brick walls held our laughter as we danced between wine racks. No more hiding, she whispered, pulling me close. No more fear, I promised, kissing her under the soft cellar lights. Marcus had tried to break us. Instead, he'd made us stronger. Tomorrow, we'd face the world together. But tonight was just for us. Sometimes the greatest victories aren't won in courtrooms or headlines. They're won in quiet moments, choosing love over fear, Truth over hiding. We'd chosen each other. Everything else was just details. The interview aired on a Thursday night. Diana had chosen everything perfectly. The lighting, the setting, even my outfit. Just be honest, she advised. Speak from your heart. The journalist, Sarah Chen, made it easy. No gotcha questions, no sensationalism. Tell me about falling in love, she said simply. So I did. Told America about ducking into a restaurant on a rainy day, about sharing a table with someone special. Sometimes life's biggest moments come disguised as ordinary days, I said. We addressed Marcus's harassment head-on, showed evidence of his stalking, his threats. Many people face similar situations, I explained. They feel trapped, afraid to speak up. Courtney watched from behind the cameras, her presence giving me strength. The response was immediate. Social media exploded with support. Thank you for being brave, one fan wrote. Your story helped me come out to my parents. Bells became packed with supporters. Lines around the block, people waiting hours just to show solidarity. Had to hire 10 new staff. Courtney laughed during our nightly call. Never been busier. The network executives called the next morning. Ratings had skyrocketed. Authenticity sells, they admitted. We should have known. Diana's phone wouldn't stop ringing. Interview requests, endorsement offers, speaking engagements. They want you to speak at the GLAAD Awards, she said. Both of you. Letters poured in from people sharing similar stories. Women trapped in abusive relationships. People afraid to be themselves. You gave them hope, Tom said, sorting through the mail at Bell's. Courtney's restaurant became an unofficial safe space. People came not just for food, but for acceptance. A customer proposed to her girlfriend here yesterday, she told me. Said our story gave her courage. The media circus eventually died down, but something more important remained. Look at this. Diana showed me a message from a teenage girl. She left an abusive relationship after watching your interview. Marcus's lawyers reached out about settling the civil suit. He'd finally realized he couldn't win. Let him pay, Courtney decided. We'll donate it to domestic violence shelters. The restraining order became permanent. Marcus faded into irrelevance. One evening, I found Courtney in her office, reading supporter letters. Remember when we thought hiding was our only option? She asked. I pulled her close, breathing in her familiar scent. We were wrong about so many things. But not about us, she smiled. Never about us. That night, we slow danced in the empty restaurant, just like we had in the wine cellar, but this time with windows wide open. No more shadows, I whispered against her hair. The truth had set us free in ways we never expected. Our story had become bigger than us. It had become a beacon for others hiding in shadows, afraid to embrace their truth. Sometimes the bravest thing isn't fighting back, it's simply being yourself, openly and without apology. We'd done both, and we were just getting started. The best stories, after all, don't end with the big revelation. They continue in the quiet moments after, in the daily choice to live authentically, in the joy of finally stepping into the light. 6 months after the interview, Belle's family kitchen had transformed. Courtney's expansion plans exceeded everyone's expectations. We're not just a restaurant anymore, she explained, showing me the renovated space. We're a community. The new wing hosted support groups, community events, even cooking classes for at-risk youth. Someone called us a safe harbor, she beamed. I like that. My show had wrapped its second season. Critics praised the authentic storytelling, the complex character development. Art imitating life, Diana winked during the wrap party. The awards season brought surprises. Nominations poured in, but they felt secondary to the real victory. Best Supporting Actress nominee, Courtney teased, reading the announcement. Supporting what, exactly? Supporting me. I pulled her close. Always. The restaurant's original corner table became something of a landmark. Couples requested it for proposals. Table 7's magic, the staff would say. Where it all began. One evening, after closing, I found Courtney there, lost in thought, tracing patterns on the worn wood. Remember that rainy day, she asked, when you ran in here? Best chase scene of my career, I settled beside her. Best ending too. We'd come so far from those first nervous conversations. those stolen glances and hidden feelings. The wine cellar still held our secrets, but now it hosted tastings and private events. That 1,982 Bordeaux still waiting? I asked during one tour. Some things are worth saving, she smiled. For the right moment. The community embraced us completely. Local businesses sought partnerships, collaboration. Bell's Kitchen named Business of the Year, Tom read from the newspaper. About time? Diana brought more good news. The network wanted to develop a show based on Bell's. Reality series meets social impact, she explained. Your love story opened doors. Courtney hesitated initially. Won't it feel exploitative? But the concept grew on us, highlighting local businesses, sharing real stories of triumph. Using our platform for good, I realized. Full circle. The filming brought us back to where we started. That corner table, those first conversations. Action, the director called, but we barely noticed the cameras. We were too busy reliving our beginning, the nervous small talk, the growing connection. Did you know then? I asked between takes. That we'd end up here? I hoped, she admitted. From that first smile, the episode aired to record ratings. But more importantly, it sparked more stories. More people finding courage, more communities coming together. We celebrated privately in the wine cellar where we first kissed. To new beginnings, Courtney raised her glass. And to being true to ourselves. To us, I added. And to everyone still finding their way. The rain outside reminded me of that first day. But now it felt like a blessing, not an escape. Sometimes the best stories start when you're running from something, and end when you finally stop running. When you find your place, your person, your truth, and realize they were worth every step of the journey. 1 year to the day since that rainy afternoon, I stood outside Bell's Kitchen. The same door, the same nervous energy, but everything else had changed. The renovation reveal was scheduled for tonight. Courtney had been planning it for months. You're not supposed to be here yet. Tom caught me sneaking in early. She'll kill me if I spoil the surprise. But I couldn't stay away, not today. Not with the small velvet box burning a hole in my pocket. The restaurant had been transformed. Warm lighting, exposed brick, the perfect blend of old and new. Still keeping that corner table? I asked, noting the familiar spot. Some things are sacred, Tom winked. She's in the wine cellar, by the way. I found her surrounded by blueprints and wine bottles, muttering about place settings. You're early, she smiled, but didn't seem surprised. Couldn't wait? Never could, I admitted, pulling her close. Not when it comes to you. The cellar had been expanded, restored to its speakeasy glory. But one shelf remained untouched. The Bordeaux, I noticed. Still waiting for something important? Maybe, she smiled mysteriously. Tonight feels pretty important. The reveal party brought everyone together. Diana, Tom, staff past and present, loyal customers. To Bell's Kitchen. Tom raised his glass. And to the couple who made it more than just a restaurant. Courtney unveiled the changes one by one. The community kitchen, the meeting spaces, the restored cellar. But I had my own reveal planned. Remember our first conversation? I asked, leading her to table 7. You were soaking wet, she laughed. Hiding from cameras? Not hiding anymore. I took her hand. Thanks to you. The room quieted as I knelt. Someone gasped, probably Diana. You turned a random rainy day into the beginning of our story, I said, opening the box. Every day since has been better because you're in it. Tears sparkled in her blue eyes. Are you really? Marry me, I whispered. Make every day our beginning. Her yes was lost in cheers, but I felt it in her kiss, tasted it in her tears. Tom appeared with that special bottle of Bordeaux. Been saving this for you two. We toasted with everyone we loved, to beginnings, to endings, to truth and courage and love. Later, after the crowds left, we danced in our wine cellar, just us, like that first night. Happy? I asked, though I knew the answer. Beyond, she smiled. Who knew running from rain could lead to this? The restaurant had emptied, but table 7 still held our story. Two strangers sharing space, becoming friends, falling in love. Fighting shadows until we found our light? What happens next? She asked, head on my shoulder. Everything, I promised. Together. Sometimes the best endings aren't endings at all. They're just new chapters waiting to begin. In a corner table, in a family restaurant. Where love stories start with a simple hello. And never really end at all.